And welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Fantastic Exchange. Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am to present to you, to bring to you none other, that's right, the icon, Valerie Sargent. You guys give it up for Valerie.
Hey, Gary, I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh my God. Can you hear the crowd? They're cheering.
Oh my gosh. What is that in the distance?
That's amazing. You got quite the fan club. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Valerie, I want to thank you so much for joining me today on the Super Fantastic Exchange. You're one of the individuals that I just like, man, I want to connect with and chat with. And you and I have had opportunities to connect with on different, on Multifamily Insiders. I've been your host and MC, as you mentioned. And it's just always been a pleasure to be in the sphere around you. So I'm pretty excited to have you join me. But I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself a little bit more and tell us who you are and what you do.
Who am I?
Right.
Isn't that the big question? So I am Valerie M. Sargent. If you were searching for me on the internet, that's the easiest way to find me. I actually am a speaker, trainer, consultant, coach. My background's in the multifamily industry. I work in all industries. I am an emotional intelligence strategist. So emotional intelligence is one of those things that I decided we needed in the multifamily industry as I started to learn about it and became a certified trainer on that topic. And I thought, okay, this is a definite need here in multifamily. But then I also thought, this is a definite need in life. And so I have pretty much strategized my career to become an emotional intelligence strategist in many capacities. So I do EQ executive coaching for companies or individual clients, people that just want to grow their EQ skills. I've recently gone through a program for epigenetics-based healing to help people with emotional blocks that they're having, so that is something that people can work on as well. Sometimes we have things that stop us from being our best versions of ourselves, or maybe don't allow us to achieve our goals. And sometimes that's tied to who we are as a person and who we are in our families. And I work with people on that as well. And I'm an executive consultant. I have different clients. Broadband Communities is one of my clients. I am helping them plan their conference. I was in charge of the multifamily track of their conference, which is coming up here in a few weeks in Houston. So all sorts of things. And I'm part of a real estate investor community. I help people learn about real estate investing. So I have access to online training and help people learn and find classes. And so, yeah, it's great.
Oh my gosh, I should have asked you what you don't do, because you, wow, what an impressive kind of resume of things you do. That's amazing. I knew you did some, but I was like, wow, that's even more.
Even more inspiring, Gary.
Right? That I knew there was a reason why you're here on the show with us. And so thank you so much. So you've always been extremely inspirational to me. I've seen you on LinkedIn. I've seen, I've had a chance to watch and be a participant on your presentations, and they've just been another level of amazingness. And I find you inspiring. And so what I love to do is connect with those inspiring people and say, what inspires you to inspire so many others? And you shared with me some incredible stuff, the things that inspire you. And so I want to ask you a couple of questions. So the first one that you shared was seeing people do good in the world. So tell us why that inspires you.
Well, I think given our world right now, it can be a little overwhelming when there are so many negative things that are happening in the world. And I always remember I was a Mr. Rogers watcher, and he said, watch for the helpers. And so the people who are out there helping to make the world a better place, the people who are contributing kind thoughts or gestures, who really go out of their way to help other people and at no, gain for themselves, they're really just doing it because they know that there's a need and they see a gap they can fill, or they see a way that they can hold someone's hand along the way and help them get where they need to go. And sometimes that's not possible. Like sometimes circumstances prevent things from going as well as we would like them to, but you still offer help where you can. Yeah. I mean, even those little moments, and when people are doing good in the world, it gives me hope that the world can be a better place.
That's awesome. And then, I love how you said, look for the helpers in the world, and you can find inspiration. And even like you said, in those small moments, it doesn't have to be a lot,
Right.
Maybe a word of encouragement or helping somebody, redirect a different way. It's just those moments. Another word comes to mind is servant leadership.
Yes.
I truly believe that, it's even though you may not have the title leader in your title, that doesn't mean that you can't get out there and lead or support other people in the things they do and create good.
Mm-hmm.
So
even with leasing consultants, they're not typically the leader of their property, but when somebody comes in the door and they need assistance, they're the leader in that moment. And so everybody has an opportunity to step up and lead in different circumstances. So I think that there are opportunities for leaderships regardless of your level, not leadership.
Well, whatever it
I like
needs
to
to
make
be.
it multiple leaderships.
That's right. It's just multifaceted. There's lots of layers of leaderships. So I think that's an appropriate word.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I absolutely agree with you. I think, us, seeing people do good in the world, finding those helpers, and just those moments where you can make a positive difference. And I think you mentioned that it's just creating positive moments really is inspirational. And when you see those moments or being a part, actively participating in those moments, that really is inspirational. So
I have a friend, Lila, that I talk about in some of my emotional intelligence training on resilience. And she's someone who has overcome cancer 3 different times.
Right.
And I have been so inspired by her journey and by my nephew, who we lost to cancer in 2010. He kept his shoes by the door of his hospital room to remind himself that he was going to walk out of there. And things like that inspire me. Like when someone's spirit is so strong and their will to live and to thrive is so strong, I'm very motivated by it. And you may know I was recently Leukemia Society of the Year campaign here in Orange County, California. And so I had the opportunity to raise funds for that charity.
Sure. Such a worthwhile charity. Absolutely. So yeah, those are some amazing inspirational moments. Well, you also shared with me something else that inspires you. And this one was personal growth and development. So tell us, what do you do? How do you kind of keep up with your personal growth and development, and kind of how do you stay inspired, and how does that ultimately inspire you on the other end of that?
How do I keep up? I don't know that I'm keeping up with it these days. It seems like life is a little too busy sometimes, but everybody's inspired by different things too. Some people are motivated differently, but for me, what feeds my soul and helps me want to thrive in the world is to grow as a person. And I do that by reading certain books or taking classes. And a big part of it is to expose myself to a viewpoint that I've never experienced before, or to help expand my understanding on a topic. Really, what I love doing the most is understanding myself more and the way that I move within the world. And there are some books that have really inspired me in the past that have helped me kind of guide that process, I think.
Yeah. I think that's so neat. And the 2 points there that kind of really resonate with me is, one is you are still constantly looking to kind of understand have awareness of yourself. And I think that's brilliant and, dare I say, emotionally intelligent. I don't want to speak out of bounds, but I think that's really is valuable. I think no matter, where we are in life or, what levels of education or leadership we attain, continuously understanding and have awareness of yourself will help you, continually grow and improve level by level, step by step. And I think that's brilliant. And the second part that resonated with me is you talked about having an open mind and kind of what is that other person coming from, or what is their perspective? And I love that you're you're open to that. You don't have that closed mind. And I think that's when you understand yourself and you can have an open mind to understand other people. I think that really is inspirational, because it multiplies exponentially your growth, and it's inspiring, to say the least.
Well, I think that where we are right now in our world, it is a tribal place somewhat. And if you're in an echo chamber and you're only around people who say and think the same things that you do, then you're not really exposed to a full picture. Yeah. Which maybe those people who say and think the same things that you do, they resonate more with you. But if you're still trying to take in other information and get a broader view and get a broader view of facts and circumstances around things instead of just opinions, because opinions are where I think people get caught up in not communicating well together. Focusing on what's at hand is important. I think especially in any type of business situation, being able to take emotions out, being able to have an opinion but not push and force an opinion is important. Being able to pause, I have a trademark phrase, it's in the pause, but being able to pause and allow someone the space to express themselves as well in a respectful, thoughtful way. I think these things are good. When you can watch a dialogue of two people communicating about a difficult issue with kindness, with compassion, and with care, and come to a place at the end of it where they have a different understanding than they did before because they didn't know maybe some aspects of a situation, that's inspiring to me, because people could, have enough confidence to set their egos aside and then really listen to one another.
Yeah, I think I think you touched on it really well there. Our feelings really do, our opinions build up our ego, which prevents us from, like you said, having an open mind to listen and maybe, understand a different perspective. And when you see that happening, or you're part of that happening, I think that's incredibly inspirational. And man, I love how you put that. That is just so smart, the way, really setting the ego aside so that you can listen and kind of get to an understanding, even though it may not be your understanding, it's their understanding.
Well, and through that, do you get to a place of better understanding?
Yes.
Maybe it's not as you thought, because a lot of people will think, oh, well, they're doing this. I saw a situation the other day, somebody didn't understand a budget and why something was done. And they thought that the answer was just no. But there are a lot of reasons why the answer might be no. And so really trying to delve deeper and figure out what's behind that. Because usually there are so many things that are behind a decision or a simple word no.
Yeah.
There may be many things behind that. Now you have some people who are just no people. Those exist too.
Sure.
But, be willing to have the conversation and to ask questions to really figure out what's going on.
Right. And this is a perfect moment. It kind of transitions into your third inspirational point, is watching others learn. And this is one of my favorite things. I'm glad you wrote this down. It's those aha moments. And I think what you just kind of set up bridges to this piece. So tell us how, watching other people learn and then having that aha moment, how does that kind of, inspire you, and where do you see that coming from?
Well, as a trainer and as a speaker, you're imparting knowledge or information that they can use back in the field or back at their jobs. And you can see it in their eyes when they get something. They light up a little bit. They lean forward. They get excited, and then that feeds me some energy, and that makes me excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, they get it. They really get it.
Right? That is the neatest feeling.
I love it when that happens. It just makes me happy, and at a deeper level, it makes me feel on purpose. And my purpose is to help others grow and to really contribute. And so if I can make a difference in that way and bring them something that's going to make a difference in their life, then that makes me ultimately happy.
Oh my gosh. That is so good. It's almost like a perpetual machine, because, you're sharing information, and when you see them eyes wide, lean forward, light up, an aha moment, that just feeds you, and you're just, it's a constant, momentum builder. and incredibly inspiring. And I've had those opportunities as well. And I agree with you. I mean, Valerie, that is like one of the most incredible things is when you see the audience or the participants just have that aha moment. It's so amazing.
And even in some of the coaching that I do, like that's all done via telephone. So I don't get to see those moments, but I hear those moments. When you have a breakthrough with someone, when they realize where a reaction came from, what was its deep root in life that caused that, you know, to have that breakthrough moment, which can be emotional sometimes. I get goosebumps like all the way up and I'm like, this is it. This is it. I do. It's who I am. I'm getting them now speaking about it.
That's so wonderful. And that just proves that what you're doing, you found your purpose and you have the heart to do what you do, because it not only you enjoy what you do, but it really, you react to the results of what you do and seeing the people really accept and have those aha moments. That's what an inspirational point. I absolutely love it. That is so neat. Well, hey, Valerie, so we're getting close to the end of our time. And I could tell you, I could speak to you for hours because you're so good to talk to. And I love your points and everything. But want to give you a chance before we close out to share with us a closing thought. What you got for us?
What do I have for you? Well, I did bring some books that I love in case others would like to be inspired by some of the books that have inspired me. Would you like to know some of those? I would
love that. As you can tell, I'm a little bit of a book nerd, so please share.
Just a little bit. Well, some of these are oldies but goodies for me, but I loved like Deepak Chopra, The Path to Love. Okay. That was a really good book. Wayne Dyer, always amazing, but his book, The Power of Intention, I loved this book.
Okay.
And Brene Brown, pretty much anything she does, but this one is Daring Greatly, so I don't have the cover on that one. But and this one, I have gifted this one several times. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer.
Okay.
And that is just, one of the things that it talks about is, you know, the chatter inside your head and the self-talk, and I call it our inner monologue, but it's for people who have a lot of that going on. If you think about it, if you had a roommate who was sitting on the couch beside you saying those things, you wouldn't put up with it, but you allow negative self-talk sometimes. And that's what his point is in this book. And then it goes like way further. It's like your relationship with your thoughts and emotions. And it's just a beautiful book. I love it.
Wow.
I have gifted it several times and I need to reread it myself because I did love it that much. Like I bought it on my iPad, and this is another copy. This is my second copy because I think I gave my first copy to someone else. So, anyway, that's why I am with books. I have too many. Also, I have a huge bookshelf over there too.
You can never have too many books, but what a glowing review of Untethered Soul. We're definitely we're gonna put those list of books on the description of this this exchange so that everyone can get out there and buy those copies, because if you love reading, even if you don't love reading, get it on Audible. And really, the more you ingest of wisdom and knowledge outside, it really does help. And
I think, Gary, just like also in closing, really it's just about be a good person, be nice.
Yeah.
It's so easy. That's really all you have to do. Just be nice.
Be nice. That's it. Enough said. I don't have to say anything else. That's perfect. Valerie, how can people get in touch with you?
Probably one of the easiest ways is to go to my website, which is ValerieMSargent.com. So it's VALERIEM as in magnificent, or Michelle, my middle name, Sargent, SARGENT.com.
All right, guys, y'all heard it first from Valerie. Make sure you check her out. Check out her website, ValerieMSargent.com. You can find her on LinkedIn as well. She's shared some pretty amazing things as well. So make sure you check her out. Stay in connection with her because she's an absolutely incredible person. And I'm so glad to have you on this episode of Super Fantastic Exchange. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you check out Valerie, follow her, look at her website. Just an amazing, incredible person. And in her words, just be kind. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode of the Super Fantastic Exchange. Thank y'all.